Yeah.
is a reputable, she hasn't done anything to act a fool.
Yeah, totally. No, I agree with you 100%. And I do think of everybody up there, the person that does have the most viable talk show acting career is Garcelle. So I think that explains a lot of it. Yeah, I mean, and I wouldn't be surprised, just to circle back, I wouldn't be surprised if Andy is talking to Garcelle personally. I'm sure they've had some offline conversations about how Garcelle feels. I think it was obvious from Garcelle's reaction that she felt like the women were bullying, picking on her, that some of the stuff that they did came off as racial. I don't think that the women care. And then they all were asked, Garcelle, do you think anybody's racist here? She said no. Everybody else said no. So, I mean, I think it's very obvious that they do not, especially Erica and Rinna, do not like Garcelle and Sutton and Crystal. And of course, Kyle really doesn't like Crystal. Kyle comes for Crystal all the time. And I actually agree with Kyle on that. I think Crystal tried to make a play at making Sutton out to be racist, and there was absolutely nothing there. And I think it was such a horrible move. My personal opinion is I could do without Crystal.
Well, I don't think you're alone in that. I mean, I think it's more interesting too now what's happening with, Miss Richards has entered the conversation. And I don't mean Kyle or Kim. Listen, I don't know. I don't think anyone's necessarily going to come back from the past. I know we've kicked around the name Kim Richards. I've heard, I've said this before, I've heard she's going through some things that it's not going to happen. Brandi Glanville, I love Brandi. I've spoken to Brandi personally. I don't think that's going to happen either. I think Camille would be great. I just think the number one name that makes sense is Denise if we're going to bring someone back from that. It's new, it's fresh, it's a fresh wound, and it's unfinished business with Rinna. It's unfinished.
This is why I think there's a 2-month delay. I think Denise will be back as a friend for next season. Look, as much as I want Crystal voted off the island, I think Crystal comes back too. I've said, I don't think they're going to mess with anyone. I think everybody is back. I think everyone's back. I think this could be a huge season because after this, especially if Mauricio's Netflix show works, I think you could see Kyle exit. I think you could see Crystal exit, maybe Dorit exit. But I think everyone, including Crystal, does come back. But I think they will
except for Jenkins.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, we're not going to see Diana.
So replace and maybe get rid of Sheree. I mean, love her. Maybe she could tag along around behind Garcelle, but we don't need her. No offense. I just think I agree. I think if Jenkins goes, why don't you bring in Denise? Listen, here's the thing. I mean, I don't know. Denise is going to have to look. She makes a shitload of money on OnlyFans now, a shitload. So, girl, you got that money. You're going to have to come back for a good amount, but less. You ain't getting no $4 million, $3 million, but right?
I don't think Denise cares. It's exposure. To me now, Denise is throwing her hat in and inserting herself. Yeah, she's learned from Rinna. And I mean, you got to give Rinna credit. Rinna and Bethany, and I mean, oh my God, there's still so much out there coming out about Bethany, but they have learned from these women that have just kept parlaying it and no press is bad press. And tons of people are Team Rinna buying that wine, buying that Brut Rosé she just dropped. And tons of people are going to subscribe to Denise Richards' OnlyFans of her making 5 appearances next season on how she knows the game now.
I agree. And the other thing is, look, she came on season 1. I didn't necessarily love her season 1. I was like, I don't understand this fit. Season 2, that to me was the turning point for me with Rinna. It's okay. You did this to LVP. You did this to Yolanda. You did this to Kim. I mean, there's something, even Kathy, there's something about Denise that, the soaps, that was to me, the person you were the best friends with outside of this show for a very long period of time. And it's like, wow. And that scene, what they keep replaying, it's the same smug when she's like, oh, you're so angry, Denise. It's like that.
I mean, how much would you fall out your chair if the next season Denise comes back and she confronts Rinna and she's like, you know what? I did fuck Brandi. I fucked Brandi and I fucked her again with Aaron. And you know what? Like, I mean, how good if she just rolled in and admitted it and she's like, I'm taking you down, bitch. Like, and just worked. I mean, it would be the greatest another great television season.
It would be
And
great.
comes for Harry, go for Harry all the way.
Well, yes and yes. I do think there's something about you're on. You don't know what's going on your first season. Season 2, you know what's going on. And here you are. And man, you didn't really know. I think now, A, that you step back and you don't have it. Yes, you know why you're coming back. It's not money. B, I think you got it now. You got how to play the game. You have nothing to lose now. You are coming back and you have one target, one in your crosshairs, and her name is Lisa Rinna. So that alone, people are now screaming. B,
I know.
I mean, C, Lisa Rinna, girl, bow down, put on your knee pads and bow down to the gods, because your job was just saved. If we ever were debating whether you're coming back, Denise Richards has saved your fucking job. I mean, that might be the end of you after that season. But I also think, because all these people that say they're not going to watch if Rinna's back, now I call bullshit, but I mean, you'll watch if Denise Richards comes back to take her the fuck down. Oh, then you'll watch. And I think the last thing I want to say before you go on is Denise, it's like, I don't even think we have to address this. Like, we have Miami coming back. There ain't going to be no mention of the Kardashians and Larsa. There might be for 30 seconds. We're now over that. There's now Larsa Pippen from, I don't even know if I think Denise would, believe it or not, I think we have it in the contract. We'll edit that out. It won't be discussed. The girls will be spoken to. I don't even know if we're going to bring that up about Brandy. I think it's going to be like,
really?
I think I think what you're saying is great. I think we could go that route, but I think Denise would say, okay, I'll take this money. Carol Raswell said on my show, she had a clause in there. You cannot mention the Kennedys, or you cannot benefit off that name when I'm on the show. And, that was in the contract, so like, I could see them, they would do it. I mean, isn't that old news? Like, we're over that. Like, she's not coming back. And I also think Denise would do it now because of how hated Rinna is. Like, now Denise has the fuel under her. Now she's like, okay, game on. I got it. And I'm not coming back a weak little thing who was run off the show. I'm coming back to take down one of the most hated housewives, if not the most hated in the history of housewives. So I think Denise is going to come back with confidence. And yeah, Sarah, 100%, I think she would say, I don't want this mentioned. And I think they would do it. Yeah. And they would say, the girls, you can mention it. It's going to be edited out. If you're wasting your time, you might as well say bravo, bravo, bravo. Yep. I mean, is that really why she's coming back? I mean, okay, sure, that'd be great. I think there would be no mention of it. We'd move past that. It would be like, hey, girl.
I don't know. I mean, that is like what drove her off the show. I mean, to me, I don't know how you sign a deal, because that's going to be the thing.
I mean, it's the storyline. Yeah.
How do you